Welcome back to another 2020 Kentucky Derby profile here on the Racing Rundown. I'm Eric DeCoster. In this edition, we will be discussing long shot winning impression, kind of a surprise Derby entrant for kind of obvious reasons. This is the horse trained by Dallas Stewart, who many know as a two-time Derby runner-up with huge long shots, commanding Curve back in 2014 and in 2013 with Golden Soul. He hasn't had a Derby, he's had one Derby runner since then. That was Tom Thready back in 2016. That horse ran okay, so this is a trainer who knows how to get him ready for the Derby, especially when they're long shots, and he's going to need all the luck he can get with this horse. So let's talk about this horse a little. Last year as a 2-year-old, ran in 3 races, broke his maiden at third asking at Fairgrounds, going a mile and a 16th. Pretty nice win by 3.5 lengths over some okay horses. And then he came back to place in back-to-back allowances, also at Fairgrounds, behind horses that have competed in graded stakes, Mailman Money, and Shakes in Action. Then he took about a month and a half off, regrouped, came back, and he actually finished first in an allowance. He crossed the wire first in an allowance race at 12-1 at Oaklawn Park, but he was actually placed second for interference. And in my personal opinion, he was much the best on the day. While it was, I guess that was enough for the disqualification, I didn't necessarily agree with it. He was 100% the best horse in the race. Do not let the fact that the record indicates one win, steer away from the fact he does have that one win, and it was very impressive. That was a very nice win by this horse. He still ran in the Arkansas Derby next time out, finished 4th, beaten 9 1/4 lengths. Well, he was in the Charlatan division. There obviously Arkansas Derby was split into 2 divisions this year. Charlatan was disqualified for a drug positive, so he obviously got placed last, and that moved winning impression up to 3rd. And that gave him 20 points towards the Kentucky Derby. Points didn't necessarily matter this year, but that was at least enough to get him firmly in the field. So Connections have ran him in 2 straight races after that, both 7th place finishes. 7th in the Indiana Derby as one of the favorites, and then last time out in the Ellis Park Derby at 71-1 was 7th out of 12, beaten 13 lengths. The Art Collector, Attachment Rate, Necker Island, those are the top 3 all return in this year's Derby. I am 100% expecting winning impression to be the longest shot in this year's Derby field for obvious reasons. He's coming off back-to-back 7th place finishes, last 3 races out of the money, beating a combined 33 1/4 lengths. And that's an average of just over 11 lengths right there, and that's just extremely unimpressive. Now, the one thing I will say, he is a closer. He has routinely come from behind in all of his races, and Dallas Stewart, the 2 times he's had success in the Kentucky Derby, his close finishes came in races where the pace was extremely quick, and his horses who were closers flew home late, finished very well, grabbed some late money. Well, that could be the case this year. There was a lot of speed signed on in this year's Kentucky Derby. This horse is a closer. He'll have the right setup at least. But the one thing, if I'm comparing this horse to the other Dallas Stewart horses we've seen, Commanding Curve, Golden Soul, both of those horses had shown signs of improvement, like they were going to run big races in the Derby. Winning impression has not given off that impression, no pun intended. Back-to-back 7s, I've said that a number of times, well beaten, and no real excuses. I mean, that's at the end of the day, it's not like he was, absolutely, burned at the start, not like he, ran up on heels at any point. Maybe it was a little wide at the top of the stretch last time out in the Ellis Park Derby, but that's no fault of the horse. It's not like he was going to run much better anyways. And, Art Collector's supremely talented. He's such a nice horse. There are so many good positives about that horse that Jack discussed in his preview of Art Collector. But behind him, Attachment Rate, Necker Island, they're both in the Derby, but they're both long shots. They're both, while they're both solid horses, they're not going to be much factors at this Derby field. Even if you go 2 starts back, lost to Necker Island again, but also Major Fed, he's also in this Derby. And Major Fed, he falls in the same boat. He's not a major Derby contender this year. And even if you look further back, all the races before those last 2 efforts, well, even 2 starts back, the winner of the Indiana Derby, Shared Sense, he's not running in this year's Derby. And every winner of the races before that, no Derby horses, no real graded stakes horses. While he did technically cross the wire in front of Finnick Fierce, another Derby long shot in that allowance race, it's not like that proves to me he has a big shot here. So at the end of the day, he's consistently proven to be a step below not even the top Derby contenders this year. Soundly beaten. He's had the setup. He's even had, chances to close into 2 of his last 3 races. Arkansas Derby, he kind of closed well, but obviously beaten 9 lengths on the dot. He was even a couple lengths further behind the 2nd and 3rd place finishers who will ultimately elevated to first and second. And last time out, he had a pace to close into in the Ellis Park Derby and was still soundly beaten at the end of the day. So the one positive is the pace setup is there for him, and Dallas Stewart is strong in the Derby. There's no denying that. But the negatives are he is consistently proven he is not of even graded stakes quality, much alone Derby quality. So winning impression, probably a very easy toss, probably going to be your biggest long shot, will easily be upper 80s, 90 to 1. If he's anything shorter, there must be something out there that's given fans the impression to lay a couple bucks down on him for the fun of it. But at the end of the day, this horse does not have a big shot to win it. So that's all we have for you on this preview. We'll be back for more Derby coverage later on this week on the Racing Rundown.